Alright, welcome to the vlog. It is part 2 of the ProCharger install series. See, I got all the parts laid out there on the bench, and I'm starting with the very first thing that I want to get done is the spark plugs, which really isn't too bad of a job. The hardest thing is breaking these boots loose from the plugs. And then on this side, this reservoir tank is a definite pain to get at, and I didn't want to open the system, so what I did is I put a rubber plug here into this line that runs here, and then I put a rubber plug here to cap it, and then I got this bungee cord holding it out of the way, which now gives me pretty good room to get in here and do that. So this is what we're working on. Step 1 is the spark plugs, because like they recommend a one range colder plug for the boosted applications, and then we have to gap them down to like 0.30 is what my tuner is telling me. So after that, then we're gonna have to remove this front end and get into the meats and bones of doing the system. Now this isn't gonna be a comprehensive install. Probably just gonna stop here and there when I get major parts of it done, unless there's some glitch in this manual here, which is quite detailed on how to do stuff. So let's get to it. Good Friday, August the 31st, day 2 of the ProCharger install. So let me explain what's gone on since now. First thing I did was the spark plugs. I thought it might be easier to get that knocked out before I get this bracket in the ProCharger here. It makes it really hard to get to that plug. But my tuner wants me to run a TR7, and I put TR6s in, which was Faztek's recommendation. So now I'm going to end up having to redo that. I was trying to get the front end off without taking the tires off, because the Camaro was just a hard vehicle to jack. But I think I got a solution here. I got the jacks right here. What I did is I jacked the car up from this aluminum brace. Seems pretty sturdy. You know, it's got a little dent. I don't know if that's from the jack or not, but right here, what I did is I put the jack stands on the actual body of the car. You can see that, because those like ZL1 add-ons has those brackets, and they'll clip right here, and they're basically just push on that. Anyhow, I believe that's the theory behind it. So I didn't get a lot done last Saturday because I was trying to figure out how to get this car suspended without taking the wheels off. So I just had to bite the bullet, jack it up, and so far it seems pretty good. And right now I'm just plugging away at following this book that ProCharger gives you, and just following the instructions. So I'm now on the part where I'm installing the balancer drive. It actually slides into the harmonic balancer part, and that's what gives you the section that the belt will go on to actually drive the ProCharger. So everything's been pretty straightforward. If you're going to do this, I recommend getting one of these right angle things for a drill. I also recommend a drill, because you got so many little screws in that to come out. But there are, right here, there are 3 screws that go in here, and you have to come in this way and try to get them. And don't forget, you got your bumpers going to be right here, so you can see there's not a lot of room. So that part was a hassle, and so is this top bolt that holds the bumper on, because there's not a lot of room to move up in here. So that bolt and those so far have been like the worst part, let alone trying to get those boots off the spark plugs. And then sometimes just trying to feel, because the spark plugs kind of go in up and at an angle somewhat. But then that, so far it hasn't been too bad, and I'm actually, to me, I think I'm making some pretty good time. I kind of figured once I got the front end off, things would move. So I'm going to get back at it and try to get that balancer bolted up, and see how far we can get tonight. Good Saturday, September the 1st. Man, September, boy, this year is just going by, isn't it? Anyhow, on day 3 of the ProCharger install, got a lot done yesterday. Probably put a good 5, maybe to 6 hours into it. But we got the intercooler now installed. The ProCharger's in. The belt's on. Everything's good. We're ticking right along. So now I pretty much have the duct work to go in to hook up the ProCharger. And this thing gets relocated. The smaller auxiliary radiator down there is going to get relocated. Also, you have to make room for the duct work that's going to come off the intercooler. So let's talk about some of the glitches that we had. So first one right here, the drain plug. Now in the instructions it says install the 90 on here, but the 90 is loose in the bag and doesn't fit. You actually have to take this piece off of here, or it was down here, one of the two. Take it apart and kind of redo it. So you need the 90 because it's going to hit this AC line. So they never explain it, and they never explain what direction to send it. So to me, I'm going to send it right here. I think this might work out good. Hopefully it'll come here near this hole. And then this is how you change your oil. You take this bolt out and you change the oil. So I'm kind of hoping if I leave it there, that's going to give me enough room. I can probably tuck it up, and if I need to, I can reach in there. Or I'm kind of hoping just to let it dangle a little bit, so it shouldn't be bad. The next thing is there are these plastic end caps right here and here that need to come off to make room for the intercooler. And what a major pain in the ass. They use these metal tabs that are not easy to get off. And they go right like here. See that plastic stub right there? There's 4 of them that run down the side of the radiator, and you can only get 2 from the inside. So as you can see, there's not a lot of room to try to pull these things off. See, here 1 and 2 right here on this side wasn't bad, but there's another one below that AC line, and another one even further down. Major pain in the ass getting those things off, and there's no easy way about it. And ProCharger never even mentioned, like, said where all 4 of them are. They're just like pop them off. And now the third thing is here, your transmission cooler bracket. Now they tell you to take the factory bracket off, which will be right here. They never even showed you what this bracket looked like. It just says install our modified bracket, which obviously has to be to clear the intercooler. But you see this piece has 2 studs sticking out of it. They're pressed in. Well, they don't give you a bolt to put this back up. So that's a problem. So I kind of had to dig through the parts bin for right now, and I came up with that, which is still, I think, might be too long, might be an issue. But now that I have daylight, I can search a little bit better and find something that might better fit. But yeah, ProCharger does not give you a bolt, as far as I know, for that. Because they never said anything, just said install the bracket. But other than that, everything's going pretty good, and FedEx will be here later with my ECM. Paid a little extra, it was like $20, so it was worth it because we have the holiday weekend coming up to get my ECM delivered on Saturday. So thank you, ProCharger, for working with me on that. Because the 17 and up Camaros, the ECMs are locked, so you have to send it to them or get a local tuner, which I checked around. Nobody here really works on the LT1, and so I didn't want to risk it. So I had them do a base tune, and I got a guy in Houston that Fast Tech recommended that I'm going to be going to actually do a dyno tune just before my half-mile shootout in Louisiana. So stay tuned for that. And then yeah, so ProCharger actually has a neat little handheld thing that you can upload a tune, which is one of the reasons I kind of liked it. I mean, it's a bass tune, but it'll get the car running and running safe. So, anyhow, that's that. Hopefully the next time I bring up the camera, we're going to be turning the key and get that thing running. Taking a break for a minute, I just remember something. Probably the hardest thing in this install was getting the bolt out of the harmonic balancer, out of the front, or the front pulley. I pretty much had to take the jack handle off of my jack. See how that's open? And use this much leverage to bust that damn thing off. And then it's torqued to like 240 foot-pounds, which I don't have anything that strong. I mean, probably most people don't. And it requires like a 42, 44 something millimeter socket, which I didn't even have, but I did have a 15/16, which fit on there nice and snug enough that let me break that loose. I did find something here. I'm installing the charge piping now, and I did notice, like right here, this AC line was actually touching the belt to the ProCharger, so I had to bend it back a little bit. Otherwise, this thing would have sawed right to that line in no time. So, if you're doing this on a Camaro, make sure you look for that, and just as you're installing these parts, check and make sure for ply and things fitting. Right here, I pretty much got a problem with that AC line hitting this rubber, but seeing how it's rubber, I'm hoping it won't be an issue. But I did everything I could to try to get this intercooler to come forward, but it just isn't happening. So just things you gotta watch and look for when you're modifying your car. So anyhow, let me get back at it. Okay, just a quick install update. FedEx has dropped off my ECM. I am so excited. In the instructions, I still yet to come across, and I don't think I ever will see anything that actually tells you to mount your cooler up. Like I mentioned before, I had to come up with my own nut and bolt for that, and it doesn't end there. The bolts here that hold your brake pump on, they weren't in a bag. I don't know if I'm missing a bag or what, but so I had to come up with some nuts and bolts out of my stainless hardware kit over there, because there's just nothing in there. And then this air pump here was a hassle, because they don't really explain to you how it goes on, and there's a big air line right here. I don't know how well you can see it, but there's a big vacuum line or whatever right here. It originally pointed to the front, and now you have to like manhandle this plastic hose and twist this whole assembly around, and it just doesn't feel natural. So I bolted it this way, and of course then I couldn't get the radiator on. I had to redo it. And now comes time for me to mount this radiator relocation bracket, and it says use the 2 bolts. Well, this is what they gave me, that and that. That's all I have left for nuts and bolts. That's not even the same. So luckily I had one that matches. We're getting there. It's getting close. But it's just frustrating that it seems like the further along I get, the instructions seem to start skipping a lot of stuff and then missing nuts and bolts. So luckily, if I didn't have a container of stuff to fall back on, I would already had to run the Lowe's or something like twice now. So, and hopefully the next time I take this on, we're starting the car. So real quick, I was finishing up the video and I remembered I forgot one thing that was like a really, really major pain in the rear, and it is this fitting here that ProCharger gives you to run down to your blow-off valve. Now that's cool. You got 2 extra fittings in case you want to run like a manual boost gauge or anything else. You could tap into that. But do you see this hose clamp that is down there? Do you see any good way of tightening that? I mean, it's still, to me, not as tight, but I cannot figure out a way to get that thing on there. Now, this is the factory hose that comes off. And it goes right here, from here to here. Like so. Now, GM uses these great little fittings that are really easy. You just push this in and they pop off. So what I would say to ProChargers, why can't you not design a line that replicates these factory fittings, so that way I can just plug that on there and be done with it? Because trying to do a hose clamp and then all these hose clamps is just really kind of cheesy looking. And to me, it should be a better way of doing it. So anyhow, that's all. I just want to add that. So it is not complete, but I believe I am ready to start. I'm still lacking the air filter to go on to here, and the blow-off valve, which is some kind of vacuum connections up here. But other than that, I think everything's there. So let's fire this thing up. Oh, it's loud. It's alive. Yes, it is running. Test drive. So far, moderate little whistle coming from it inside. It just cruising around at like 1,000 RPM. Now you hear the pop-off valve or surge valve. Driving here at 65, really don't hear that much, like a slight whistle. Other than that, no. But now accelerating up to, you just hear that purge valve just going. It's just a constant whooshing noise, kind of loud. Alright, so first drive impressions, man. Wow! Oh my god, man. She freaking screams. I am like so excited to like take this out to the half mile. And I think I need a trip to Mexico. We'll take out the G-Tech and we'll find out kind of what she's doing. But I have to wait for later. I got some stuff to do around the house. But anyhow, lots of noises coming from it. You got the whine of the gears from the supercharger, which I expect is what I wanted. Pretty much when you're cruising, there's very little there, if anything. So if you're just driving down the interstate 60, 70, there's not much there. Now if you're on the gas and you let go, there will be a really long, loud whoosh coming from the purge valve. And I don't even have the race valve, I just have the standard valve on there. But definitely when you hit the gas, man, it is just like freaking, man, just stands you in the seat. It is freaking wild, man. So be interesting to see what it does. I know my 0 to 60 is probably going to suffer because I am like hurting for traction, which is probably really no surprise. But launch control seems to lag really bad. There's like a really bad bog, but I still managed a 4.2. But I did that normally aspirated. But after that, I mean, man, it just like friggin' speedometer's just like so. We'll have to wait to see what the quarter mile times will be. And, of course, I've never run a half mile, and we're going to do it with this thing boosted. So, good times, man. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Guys, you know, a lot of this stuff's expensive. It's $275 to race at the event. got money tied up in this. So man, if you like seeing this stuff, please consider just dropping a small donation to the channel. I got Patreon and PayPal if you like to buy some t-shirts. If you shop on Amazon, check out the links below. Just even if you don't buy, just click a link for a camera or a drone, and once you click on it, if you buy anything, I'll get like a tiny little commission off of that. So anything you can or want to do to help support the channel be greatly appreciated, because anybody that's in these car things know this stuff is just stupid expensive, and I'll probably have to be looking at some tires or something like that here shortly, or do something for that race, because I don't think I'm going to be able to do it on those stock Goodyears. Anyhow, man, I hope you enjoyed the video, man. Drop a like. Lots of time and effort into this video, and man, this is just going to be a lot of great stuff now for the channel, because now we got this boosted Camaro I wouldn't go out and really surprise some people with. I think, I know people know it's a quick car, but they won't expect it to be that fast, maybe. Anyhow, thanks. So I'm going to stop rambling and go on and get cleaned up from all this work. So anyways, thanks for watching. Hope you got something out of the video, and hopefully subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.